So Cheryl, can you tell everybody the story of how I know you?
Sure. I had moved to Arizona and I got a job. This was like, I can't even remember the year all of a sudden. It was a long time ago. And I got a job working for an internet radio station. And one of the things that I did was look for new hosts to have their own radio shows. And somehow I ran across your name and said, "Ooh, that would be good. She'd be a great host." And I called you up and you went, well, I kind of already do my own radio show on Blog Talk, so I don't really need that. But I think there's no accident that you're calling and we should talk. And so we ended up yakking away and became friends that way. So that was the beginning.
That was the beginning of the end. And then all of a sudden what happened was I'm like, I should know this person more. And then you told me a story, which was really interesting. Oh my gosh, I didn't know this would come up. But anyways, you told me a story. Hold on. Come here, you. Come here. Come and show your face to everybody. Yay, come and say hi.
Where's Mouse? Hi, Mouse.
There we go. Mousie's having a dramatic moment right now. So, hello, you. Yes, I love you very much. You're very cute. I know you wanted to be. See, whenever he yawns, that's a protest yawn, Cheryl. So it's like I don't really want to be up here. So one of the things that I noticed with you and I is that there was a connection right away. So, and I find in this world right now, we're making those heart-to-heart sort of irrational connections that is just like you're instantly in love or connected with the person. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, absolutely.
How do you, so I'd love for you to share, like, how do you describe, why do you think that happens? Where you just have that instant knowing of a person?
Well, for me, it's because I've known the person before. Like I recognized you on some level.
Yeah.
And it's like an energy that you have with the person. And it's like, why doesn't it happen with other people? Perfect, nice person, but I don't have that instant, oh, my sister,
Yeah, exactly.
And I think in the non 3D reality that we're living in,
yes,
what I've come to experience for myself is this feeling of connection in other dimensions, the other dimensions of reality. So, even to the point of feeling like when we're not, that we're not conscious of it, but in some other dimension, we're doing like a project together, or we're doing we're in the same group, and that has a mission, and it's connected to this reality, but it's like something separate.
Yeah, it's as though we did some other multidimensional or in another lifetime or whatever it is. And I definitely felt that with you. And one of the things that we have Agents of Awakening is really all about the idea that we all have the capacity to make a difference for another. We all have the capacity to make a difference in a big way or in a small way, like in a grocery store or, on a stage in front of 5,000 people if we want to. But there isn't any, or one of my favorite Agents of Awakening was this kid that kept drawing these pictures on the end of the driveway for everybody who would walk by. And they were like really inspirational. She did them with chalk and she was like 7 years old and they were so awesome. So I know, isn't it cool?
Yes.
But for kids, there's nothing in the way.
Right.
But for adults, we have developed all these protective mechanisms and safety mechanisms. And so Agents of Awakening interviews are all about like, because I'm talking to adults, because we don't need to have this conversation with children. They're like, let it rip. So my question to you is, what actually in your journey, because you make such a difference for so many, What is it in your journey that you would say is the main theme or themes of things that started to stop you? What were the things that got in the way of you truly being that bridge builder that you are?
I would say that the main thing was that from a young age, because I felt like I didn't fit in,
Yeah.
and I definitely felt like, who are these people, my family, um, that I was always looking for something. And there was something about being a seeker that was always
Mm-hmm.
looking for something that
Yep.
prevented me from actually finding it and being it.
Yeah.
And and I took all sorts of courses and followed different teachers and explored all sorts of different religions, even became a Jews for Jesus for a little while. you know I
Awesome.
did. I tried
I
just
didn't
all.
know that.
It was, yeah, me and Jenny Epstein, my childhood friend. We went and joined Jews for, not much to the chagrin, probably mostly of her parents, but anyway. So it was that seeker energy, though, that was like I was always looking for an answer outside of myself. I was always
Yeah.
like trying to find someone that would tell me what the heck I was supposed to be doing, how to be, just.
Hmm.
And there wasn't anything really wrong with seeking, because I learned a lot.
Yeah.
One of the things I learned, I still use today. It's not like it wasn't, like there was a reason I had to go on that journey.
Yeah, like there was nothing, but no one ever. It's so funny. As I talk to you, I realize you're one of those people like me who, and I don't mean to say this hierarchically because this isn't about the Enlightenment Olympics, but when you're born to build bridges, you're always ahead. And we think like I don't fit in because I'm behind,
Right.
but actually that's not true. It's like we're actually we're building bridges to another side of consciousness, but in order to do that there's nobody on the other side of the bridge yet, right? So
Right.
who's going to be able to tell you who you are? And you used to compare yourself a lot to other people too, trying to go like, yeah.
Totally, totally. And I think, my big turning point was, what some would call a dark night of the soul, where I was working with this teacher who I went to because I saw her speaking on a stage and I was like, oh, I think she can help me. And I went up to her and she basically said, yes, I'll help you find yourself. But what happened was the opposite. Like while I worked with her, um, I totally gave all my power away to her and her way of doing things, and started disintegrating myself, which was perfect. It took me actually
What
pulling
was
away
it?
from her. No, it was very painful.
Yes.
I'm perfect because what happened was when I left and pulled away from her, then that's when I found myself. I was like, I am never doing that again. I am not giving my power away to anyone, anything.
Yeah.
And we were friends at this time, and I came back to you, and I was very much like, you're not going to tell me anything. I'm not taking
I,
any of your
I,
courses.
that's right.
Like,
That's right.
I was so resistant to anyone telling me what to do.
That's okay. I didn't notice.
But it was perfect because I put myself back together from my own knowing and my own connection, and some things that I had even learned from her
Yes.
actually were part of me coming back to myself, because I know that I was born knowing myself,
Yes.
and knowing
Yeah.
things, and remember being a little kid like 4 or 5 and telling my mom, we'd drive by this house, like, I remember when I lived there, and when my mom was away, this lady took care of me and she would make me this, and my
Yeah.
mom just said, oh, you have such an active imagination. It's like, I
But
knew.
aren't magnetics amazing? Think about it. It's like you worked with this woman who was all about sort of like pedestalizing herself and being a guru. And you literally, when you decided to take your power back, you ended up you and I started having our relationship. And literally, one of the programs I was looking at developing is be your own guru. Like, never give your power away to anyone ever again, right? And
Yes.
I just thought, wow, that was super poetic. So what I love about this conversation, and I hope, oh gosh, I hope everyone is hearing what you just said, Cheryl, because that whole thing around giving your power away to teachers, see, here's what I know for sure, and I know you could totally validate this. When you're working with someone, when you found someone that really resonates with you that you're going to do work with,
Mm-hmm.
it's because you either are you have found your power of equal genius in another area. So there's like, or there's the potential for that same, the reason you resonate is because you have the same potential for genius,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's like you're like an equal genius, even if you haven't realized it fully yet. So the cool thing is that when I approach, and I know you're the same way, when I approach someone, it's always with a deep humility because I never know what their equal genius is. They're instantly, it's like if you found me, you're an equal genius. Can't wait to discover what that is, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And so there's a transcendence of comparison then. There's more of a curiosity. Have you how did you transcend that comparing yourself to others thing?
Well, I'm not perfect at it for sure.
If it
Sometimes I'm like,
did.
oh, but I want to do that, or
Yeah.
whatever. But the main thing is developing that connection, that relationship with my own higher frequency,
Mm-hmm.
and realizing, like, admitting to myself that I'm powerful.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard even saying it right now. I'm a little like, but seeing what my very unique thing is,
Hey,
and
Cheryl.
knowing it, and
Cheryl.
not
Yeah, seeing your unique thing.
and really getting that every single person on the planet, even if they're doing something similar to me, they're not, because they're not me and I'm not them, so I'm not doing what they're doing. And realizing that, and this is I mean, it can be an intellectual conversation, but
Yeah.
something happened really deep within me where I really started falling in love with my own life,
Yeah.
and realized that I don't have to have it look a certain way. And the
Mm.
way that happened was actually a few years ago. Well, it was actually building up to it. I didn't realize I was having autoimmune reaction. And my body literally said, stop. You have to stop trying to be a something or do a something, and I had no choice. Like, I literally was having trouble walking because I had such bad inflammation in my knees. And my loving partner and a couple of really good girlfriends sat me down and said, no, seriously, you have to stop. You have to stop working. You have to stop
Yeah.
seeing clients. And that was like, okay. And from doing that and really learning that, I had no idea how to stop. I really didn't. I would lay on the couch. I can remember
Interesting.
I would lay on the couch and stare at the ceiling and be thinking about what I was going to make for dinner or whatever, and realize even that was like trying to be a something or do a something. And I had to just like practice not doing anything.
Yeah, it's like you had to leave. You know what? How I'm looking at the hologram of you, and I'm like, oh. So it's so funny. We literally were just talking about this, and so I'm doing a beta of the new operating system program right now. So one of the topics is slow down to speed up, but people don't realize that it's not. It's no. Like, you literally unplugged from all of your identities, not even knowing that you were running identities, right? Like, you just what you it's like slowing down at the deepest. It's not even slowing down, you just stopped,
Yeah. Yeah,
right?
I really felt like I had no choice. And it was, and still to this day, like yesterday, I went to the grocery store, for instance, and
Yeah.
I came back and I'm furiously putting everything
Yep.
away and, want to get dinner ready. And I was exhausted. And my body was like, you need to lay down right now. So I put away the perishables so things wouldn't melt. And I lay on the couch, and the entire kitchen table was filled with groceries that had to be put away. And I could see it from where I was laying down.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was like, remember what you learned from your sabbatical from doing? Like,
Curse you.
don't get
Curse
up.
you with a voice.
Do not get up. Do not get up and put
Yeah.
those groceries away until you've rested. I'm like, oh, all right.
So cool. It's what I hear you saying, like just in other language, what I hear you saying, Cheryl, which I love. I swear, we just talked about this in the new operating system. It's like you can't even hear who you really are if you're trying to be someone else's projection, society's, whoever's projection of who like society's projection of who they think you should be. Like you should put your groceries away right away. You should be a certain kind of wife. You need to don this certain kind of like your business. I can't tell you how many people these days are trying to be entrepreneurs that it's like some of them shouldn't even run their own business. Like go and be safe and get healthcare and work for someone else. Just because in North America it's such a big deal to be an entrepreneur, it doesn't mean it's in your highest. And it's unplugging from all of that. And you are a person that I know to be tremendously courageous and also tremendously intuitive. So for someone who has a gift of intuition, not that I know anything about that, what happens is if you don't actually stop your identities, you're not able to get on with the gift that you are, right? And so now you get to get on with the gift that you are.
Yes, absolutely.
And be the amazing agent of awakening that you clearly are. So, by the way, Cheryl's page on Facebook is called Amplify Love, right?
That's my group.
Yeah.
And my Facebook page is Cosmic Conduit. It's Sherryl Lin.
I remember Cosmic Conduit. I remember when that first came up. I love that.
That's
so,
me.
So everyone, this is Sherryl Lin, a dear friend, a colleague. She's actually worked with the Wide Awakening for, she program managed our flight school program. And Sherryl, again, as always, I'm so deeply appreciative of being inspired by your journey constantly and just keeping our connection over the years and being able to watch each other's genius just come to the forefront and embody. And these days you hardly even have to say anything. And it's like you could say, well, and it's like I can already feel what's going to open up. I might not know exactly, but it's just because of that beautiful, that sisterly thing that's going on. So, yeah.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you.
Thank you for the opportunity to have this conversation.
Yeah. Well, thanks for being so vulnerable to have it. It's such, we're all in this together. I'm sure I haven't looked at the comments yet, but I'll come and look at the comments. Cheryl will too. And I'm sure there's so many people that relate to this, especially the comparison thing.
Yeah. Big one.
And the giving your power away to leaders. Like the time for that is over. So this is Jennifer for Agents of Awakening. And again, I say Jeannie Selda as a co-conspirator in this venture of Agents of Awakening. Speaking of genius, she's the one that came up with the name. And you can go over to facebook.com/Agents of Awakening and go and post really inspiring stories like Cheryl's or like that little girl with the chalk drawings at the end of the driveway, or whatever inspires you on the Agents of Awakening page. And let's spread some inspiration so that people can be activated to like, what can I do? because we all can do something. And is there anything you want to leave people with, Sherryl? Any words that you might want to say to people as they're sort of having the courage to become?
Just it really, when you understand that you do have already your thing, it's like right there, and you don't
Yeah.
have to look for it or try, and it really is not like anyone else's. So it doesn't matter what anyone else is doing. Yours can even seem similar or even from the outside identical, and it's not. It's you. It's uniquely you. So when you realize that, you'll just relax.
Exactly. So everyone, and for everyone that's listening right now, I hope this gives you a little bit of permission or like an opening to say yes to yourself. For those of you that are joining us tomorrow and get out of your way to evolve and embody, it literally is about, it's the first part of a journey of embodiment of exactly what Sherryl just said, the journey of becoming who you are. Like it's already there. I love that you said that. It's already there. So we'll put the link down below if you haven't registered yet, because it starts tomorrow. Okay. And so thank you, Sherryl. Again, you can find her Cosmic Conduit page on Facebook. Go and say hi and love her like I do. Okay. Everybody
Love you,
have the
Jen.
best day ever. Love you too, Sparrow.